for a lender of your pedigree, right? Somebody who's been an NBFC, became a bank. The job of collecting the deposits was a challenging one, I'm sure. But you're one of the few lenders who's offering a higher savings account rate, 7% you're offering to your customers. I'm assuming on the fixed deposit rate as well, that's quite high. Q1, Equitas Small Finance Bank, just for a viewer's reference, Q1 of FY25, you've seen a 35% year-on-year growth. Yes, the base is small, it's about 37,000 crore roughly. Having said that, you're still growing on CASA. CASA ratio not so much, but CASA absolute numbers, you are growing. Fixed deposits, of course, you're growing. How are you getting these numbers, and what has differentiated Equitas from the rest of the pack, where people are actually seeing margin or CASA contraction?
Yeah. So liability, when we started as a bank, 2016, we were wondering whether people will really place their money with us, because nobody would have heard of us. Equitas was not a well-known brand, and we are not going to be having enough money to promote it as a brand either.
Correct.
And banking is all about trust, and trust doesn't happen overnight. Trust happens over a long period of time. You see a branch somewhere in your neighborhood, and you keep passing by for a few months or a few years, and the branch continues to be there. Then slowly the trust comes up. Oh, this branch is there, so maybe this bank is okay.
Yeah.
Right? It takes time to build the trust. Yeah. So we were wondering whether we will actually be able to get deposits, because as a bank, I can't borrow from another bank. That's not allowed. So my only source was to be deposits. But in reality, we never struggled from the day one. We never struggled on raising money, and I think a large part of that credit I have to give it to RBI, because RBI, through their own various prudential management of the banking system, they've ensured a zero bank default in the country for all these decades. Zero default. Not even once has a depositor lost money, even 1 rupee in a banking company. So I think that is what really finally helped us, because the day we put the bank in our name, immediately people said, okay, this is a bank, so nothing too bad can go wrong. So the trust value came up because of the word bank in the name. So we were always reasonably okay on deposit mobilization. Today, of course, as you mentioned, the liquidity is tight, and the demand for deposit from all the banks is very high, and so it's a real struggle for raising money. There's no doubt on that. As you mentioned, we do pay 7% at some slabs for savings interest rate, and on term deposit, we pay, our peak is 8.5% compared to 7.25%, which is a peak for most of the large banks. So I am about a 1.25% higher than the large banks. So there is that one thing which is always we dangle in front of a depositor in terms of interest rate, which is a reality. And over time, as I mentioned, over the next 3 to 5 years, we should be shortening that gap to help us improve our cost of funds.